In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Pointless Automotive podcast on the road edition.
Yes, we are rounding out a rally. So we are in the Galant, which has proved to be both reliable and comfortable, if not a little squishy. And we are, we're gonna try this. Maybe this won't even work, this whole recording from the road thing, but by golly, we are going to try and see what we can do.
If you're watching it, it has.
Yeah,
worked.
right, exactly. And so the sound quality might be garbage. There's going to be wind and road noise, and that adds to the charm of this episode today. What did we just finish up doing there, Chadwick?
So yeah, we did the DWA Coastal Range Rally 2022.
Yes, we did, and we're going about 70 miles an hour right now, up Highway 101. We are leaving King City, which was where the Coastal Range Rally 2022 ended.
The City of Kings.
Yeah, we three kings be stealing the gold, and now we're driving back home. We're just gonna spit this one kind of off. We're just gonna riff here for a little bit.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. And I'm trying to stare at a windshield while also doing so. So we are multitasking, and this was my first real kind of road rally, as was yours, yeah?
Yeah.
And I guess what's the post mortem? Like, what's our biggest takeaway before we kind of run down what we did, where we did it, what happened, at least in maybe not some of the more gruesome details, because we don't want to incriminate ourselves or anyone else. We invented some movie ideas. We did a good amount of driving. And what's some of your takeaways from the rally? It was overarching.
How about the car, the Mitsubishi Galant VR-4 we're driving today?
Yes.
Really, we didn't have any prep time. I think the turbo's super fresh. The break-in was the trip down.
I got maybe, I want to say 88 miles or something on it before the drive down, and that was within a 2-day span before coming down for the rally.
Right, and this is the car I did the time about water pump, all the major services on, where we needed another turbo after that one failed, and it's been good. What are we at total? I can't see here.
That we've driven?
Total driven on the new turbo.
Well, that's going to be, I'll do some quick math. Currently we're at 773 miles, but I did have to reset it at one point at 40. So roughly 800 miles.
Cool.
On the rebuild turbo.
So
rebuild turbo.
Yeah, turbo's holding up good. A lot of people won't believe this if you are DSM believers. But no oil leaks, no coolant leaks, no overheating, no irregular engine issues. And this was the first test of the car, so we're super impressed. I mean, no weird smells, no weird noises.
I have become a DSM reliability truther, I think.
There's no such. I don't think that exists, man.
Yeah, there's did we talk about it before, that there's Stevie Wonder truthers?
What?
Yeah, there's people that think Stevie Wonder actually is of sight, he can see, and they point to things little video clips where he catches something unexpectedly.
I missed the segue to Stevie Wonder, but it makes sense.
The same way that there are Stevie Wonder vision truthers.
Oh, you think
I'm a Mitsubishi reliability truther, where people think that they're actually unreliable, and I think that they actually are pretty darn reliable, and they get a bad rap, and I think it's mostly because people modify them into the grave.
Skipping deferred maintenance, timing belts eat a lot of these engines, but yeah, dude, this thing's been rock solid.
It's been great.
We've been driving it pretty spiritedly, and wow.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely did find its deficiencies, right?
Didn't take long.
Yeah, the power was appropriate for most of what we were doing. I mean, there were lots of people that were significantly faster and had power-wise, we were definitely in the lower 10% of cars that were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the suspension is the original 146,000 mile suspension.
Yeah, we played to our strengths. Weather was a bit of a concern. There was some rain, some old water on the road, a lot of leaf debris.
Yep.
Fact. Less than recently improved roads that we were mostly driving on, and All-wheel drive system was fantastic. 4-wheel steering for the win. Altogether, really compliant ride. One bad thing is this is a very original car, and we're big on that.
Originality.
Yeah, but the suspension is original in the sense it came from Japan like that, from the factory.
Yeah.
So beyond its
original.
Yeah.
All the rubber's original. And so while it's held in there, and it's not, it certainly isn't dangerous, it is quite ponderous when you're trying to push it through. Really the biggest issue was like the high speed sweeper stuff.
Yeah,
where the tires would hold on, but the whole body would just want to lean, and that's not where you want to be when you're going like 65, 75.
Right, and we talk about the rally heritage of the car, but those were heavily modified. The Galant VR-4 out of the box, for anyone that's ever owned one or seen one, they were pretty soft from the factory, and 140-something thousand miles didn't make it any harder, if you will. So
right,
a little drama adds to the occasion, I believe.
A sense of occasion.
A dramatic sense of occasion.
And yeah, no, it's so that was really our main deficiency, because we didn't. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, we were not pushing, we were not trying to go 9/10, 10/10. I mean, we were having fun with the car. We found its limits. We dare not step past them, and we tried to stay in like slower grouping, because let's talk about the other cars in the rally real quick.
Yeah, there's like AMG badges, there's Porsche GT4s.
Heavy Porsche, nearly all 911
super heavy.
Showing. Not a lot of Japanese cars. I think we counted there were like 6-ish, 5 or 6.
Yeah, Art's R33 GTR. There was a BRZ.
There was BRZ. There was
WRX Bug-Eye Wagon.
Yeah, that was a cool car. And then there was, I'm missing something. Oh, of course, the 510. Yeah,
great car.
Jane Amelia in the 510, which that's a cool car. But that like a 510. That's our speed for like this kind of car. Like. We'd rather stay with like slightly more underpowered cars, because they actually had a really well set up.
Yeah,
and a lot of the other kind of like the 2002
well-sorted engine, well-sorted suspension,
good suspensions, and we probably had more power, but we didn't have the suspension, and so that's important on this kind of stuff, is like the groups will kind of sluss themselves out.
Sure.
As far as like speeds and what people are comfortable driving at and in and with. And you stick with your people.
Yeah, also fantastic.
You don't trying to, oh, those guys, I'm going to keep up with them, and then
real quick, fantastic mix of road guys. Like they lay this stuff out smartly, not to play to any car strength. So there's lots of high speed sections. There's plenty of low speed, like really second gear topping out sections, very technical, very tight, and then it will open to sweeper. So whatever you bring to one of these rallies, these guys are very good about like going out and scouting the routes beforehand and recently, so you know about the weather changing the route. But whatever you bring, there's something that's going to entertain your strength, and there's something that's going to challenge your car. So we did pretty good. Ours, the Galant VR-4, of course, being down on power and all-wheel drive, we were good in the bad stuff and the tight stuff, and then once it opened up, like Frank said, at speed, sweepers really leaned on our new tires, which was the
tires.
If we didn't
the tires kept us out of the ditch, but like. Yeah, you can hear them. They weren't noisy, these, and they're the Vredestein Sprint Pluses in the factory sizing, which is a 195/60/15.
Not a ton of
so
rubber.
We had some sidewall though, which did help us with some of the more pockmarked roads and rougher conditions. And it was raining pretty hard last night, so that was the last night of the rally. And yeah, so that kind of saved our bacon. But those really tight uphill, like second gear technical stuff is where this car shined.
Yeah.
And then then we'd let people pass us on the high speed stuff, and let the big dogs eat, because
good point by practice. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Have that etiquette, or you can get into trouble. Which is very much. I'd like to drive this car home, like we're doing.
I think, the goal is there's nothing to win on these things, right? So the mentality is you should be just having fun. Drive how you feel comfortable. If you find yourself with a pack that's faster than you, there's nothing wrong with pointing them by. Yeah, no one's so no one's gonna.
No?
Why's your voice going out? That's weird.
Decisions were made.
So no one's gonna judge you, right? Like if you point by people, you know, that guy in the GT4 who happens to be a really cool guy is not gonna turn around and be like, man, that 30-something-year-old Mitsubishi really freaking couldn't hang. It's not like that. It's like it's the right thing to do. But
at least with this kind of rally, this is not like a douche missile fest where it's all like people with like tuned hypercars that are you know, have their own special like stuff, like wrapping their car.
Yeah, we're speaking about this rally specifically and anything kind of similar to
your mileage may vary.
Yeah, it's really cool, and like you might think, man, my car's not that great, it's not that competitive, but that's not the point, right?
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, take what you're comfortable driving and drive it at where you're comfortable. There's no winner, there's no loser. Maybe if you lose your car during the rally, it kind of sucks. That's a loss, I think. You can check that off. But
yeah, don't do that.
You want to take your car home. You care about your car, and that's what it's all about. And people recognize that. The variety was fantastic. What was the year spread? We had, what was the oldest? That Volvo, right?
The Amazon? Yeah,
yes.
I didn't pick up the what year the Amazon. That was probably what, 64 or 65?
Yeah, so
I
probably
didn't,
the most vintage car there.
Yeah, that was probably it. And then what's newest, like Lane's car and paper plates and Boxster, so
brand new Porsche Boxster.
Yeah, so a really good spread. I do wish there was only one American car. I wish Team America World Police did not have a great showing as far as numbers, but it was
a very cool one, Chevy Camaro Z28.
Yeah, shout out to homie John Greco, who drove that thing out from freaking Dallas.
The T-tops off.
T-tops off the whole way like a boss, and did that. Yeah, what year was it? No, 1 Z28?
I think that was, yeah. Wasn't that final year?
6-speed.
Yeah.
02.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
6-speed.
I don't know. I'm not up on my F bodies, but I should be because that car was
nice sounding exhaust.
Yep.
Like pretty cool car.
So that thing was rad. Yeah, just some cool stuff, and you know, I do. That would be my one thing. It's like I wish there was more, like more eclectic, but it's also, you got to remember, like we're weirdos. We're automotive clowns, so to speak. And by that, like we like showing up in something like this that's like way different, and they're kind of unheard of. Like we spend half of our time driving. Like, okay, like if we do another one of these, what are we going to come in? Like we've been crowned the quote unquote Galant Boys, became our moniker,
right?
And so, you know, while in some regards, then we have to keep arriving in a Galant, maybe your Galant next time.
Yeah, that's not
no pressure. Yeah.
This one's already sorted. Why not?
That's right. However, you know, there's also still like, ooh, it'd be fun to show up in like your neon ACR or some other
NX
just unusual car that you don't see in these kind of things, because you know, that's kind of talking to playing to your strengths with regards to cars. That plays into our strengths,
sure,
of representing the unusual kind of vehicles, but still fun, right?
Well, yeah,
like,
how well we can sort an older car to make it like drivable, because chances are you find something like this on Craigslist or Marketplace, and if you showed up this rally without doing your maintenance, you'd find out really quick.
Do you think there's people that ever like go on like Tinder or Grindr or like Plenty of Fish or whatever, any of these like dating websites, and they find people that are like on there, like that have like, oh yeah, I'm an automotive enthusiast, or like there's a picture with them with their car, and they go on there and it's like, hey man, you want to sell that? And they just try and buy.
Oh,
they get cars that are off the market.
Yeah.
Or maybe they win their heart over, and then they're like, they're just like getting them to like fall in love, so then they can buy the car.
Probably.
Get a good deal.
I think you can find
anything and then you ghost them.
Yeah, you can find whatever you want on Tinder, or the one you're familiar with, Grindr, I guess.
Yeah, farmers only, perhaps. Which is kind of where we were. Like there was a lot of rural Central Valley roads that were very untraveled. Like not, you know, we weren't constantly fighting with just day-to-day traffic and buys and hoping people will pull over. There was some of that, but
it's like a callback to the great scouting done from the team at DWA, who organizes the event.
Driving whilst awesome.
Yes.
And no, they did a good job.
Great job scouting, and the fact that they do that, they go through and they're definitely looking at roads that aren't being traveled. They're looking for residential built-up areas. We don't want to be, you know, you don't want to be the team of like 20 cars storming through a residential.
Check out that accent. You see that clean Hyundai accent?
It's very clear.
Sorry, we're driving. We're checking out cool stuff.
Fairly, you know, going through a residential area is not going to make you like very popular, and if you're going to repeat these events, which they
Right.
do, you know, multiple times a year, you do not want to be that group, right, that tears through a, you know, and cream someone's dog
quote
in
unquote
front
leave
of their
no
house,
trace,
or,
so to speak,
yeah.
right? Like you kind of want to respect the people that are living with the day to day. You know, you don't want to be the douche missile parade.
Yeah, great terrain too, like good different landforms, good like great elevation changes. You have everything from like super technical switchbacks,
Right.
sweepers, good roller coaster effects, some roads that are pretty unbelievable and that are super fun, and no matter what car you bring, and like I said before, don't have to bring your, you know, track weapon to one of these, and it's actually better that you don't, because you want a little of a compassionate ride, if you will, versus
Yeah, and there was definitely,
hard.
you know, there was nothing that was like slammed, but there was some cars that were significantly, we might have been like top of the heap as far as ground clearance. There was the X5M,
Sure.
and the green early 911 had a lot of clearance.
Yep.
But it's nice to have that clearance, because with these under-traveled roads, a lot of them are fairly pockmarked up.
Right.
And you don't want to just be like sweating bullets because there's like a rock in the road or whatever. You got to keep your head on a swivel either way. But
yeah, and your $10,000 carbon fiber splitter might take a
or just like
take a nasty rock.
Oops, there goes my oil pan. So yeah, it was good. And what's wild is, so these guys do a couple of different rally routes throughout the year, and I think they said the next one is spring. And I know they like to do they call it the Sierra Rally, which is up more in the mountains, I suppose. I don't know. I've never been on it, but people
Not
were
just
saying
a clever name.
Exactly. But people were saying it's actually a better route. Like, oh yeah, like this route's great, but that one's amazing. And I'm like, damn. Like, yeah, like some of these roads were like truly special. Even in a car like this, you know, a lot of this stuff, like Highway 58, there were big sections of it that were like big speed runs, which this car is not. It's not where it wants to
Never
be.
was.
But even still, a lot of that was just brilliant roads. So having a more, a better, a more dreamy route seems kind of crazy. I don't know. Like that seems not unattainable, certainly, but and a good, it's again just a great mix of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people have done a lot of these, and so they're like, oh yeah, like I've done this freeway but from a different direction, and 7 years ago I did this and scouted out, but I went on this other route. Like people that really know driving and really know the routes, and then also know their limits, and so you can really stick with some great people, and then imbibe with some good people, because let's face it, like this is not just a you alone in your car event. It's like, mingling and chat, talking shop, and just meeting good people and having good conversations, and it's very much a social thing. And on that regard, it was kind of second to none. Like it was just a really good, eclectic group of like-minded, for the most part, just truly car people.
Yeah, very cool. And the routes had optional, pathways if you wanted to take a more like, I don't know, dirt, unimproved surfaces, certain.
Were you in on the Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Yeah, dude, who didn't read that stuff? Like, turn to page 35, you die. Oh, I mean, I didn't make that mistake.
Yeah, go back. Yeah,
you read the book like 5 times before you finished.
I remember when I was, I want to say like 4th grade or 5th grade.
We need like a wavy sound when you do these reminiscent backstories, right? Yes.
Okay, so my grandma knew that I appreciated both X-Men and Star Trek: The Next Generation. Mm-hmm. So she managed to find a Choose Your Own Adventure book, like a 180-page novel.
Okay.
Where it was like the X-Men team up with the crew from Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I have no clue how I don't remember how they mashed those two worlds together. But on the cover art, it was like animated of like Jean-Luc Picard like hanging out with like Wolverine and
how weird would that have been if it was Jean-Luc Picard and Professor X?
Oh wow, yeah.
Think about that.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Whoa. Well, I guess before then, like he had yet to be cast as Magneto.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Right?
That would have been fucking fantastic.
Extreme foreshadowing. Whoa. Anyway, so yes, there was a Choose Your Own Adventure aspect of it, because a lot of them were, and to the organizers' credit, they realized that there is going to be a mix of cars like ours that have like ground clearance and compliance.
Well, that was where I was going. So it
yeah.
it leaves it in your lap as the driver, and you know your vehicle and the type of vehicle, so you can go spicy, or you can go mild, or you can go high speed, or you can go technical. So that part of it was super cool, and what they did really well is the meetup points always were where the routes would naturally meet anyway for the most part. So you're always congregating, you're meeting for lunch, you're going over, hey man, swapping stories, what the experience was, because the thing is, it's the same route a lot of times, but dude, your vehicle totally changes how you experience that route. And we say it all the time, like the vehicles, you know, you should experience a vehicle, and this lets you really do that. You know, a lot of these guys daily, these cars, some of these are their fun rally cars. You can tell they're more for sporting drives and fun times only. But it's super cool to like hear everybody's story and to hear their input and their experience along that route. That, you know, that car might have done it and it was like a breeze, and then for someone else it was super challenging.
Yeah, white knuckling it.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of form like, for track guys, you know, you form run groups based on skill level and car capabilities. So that kind of naturally happens too, which is nice. You get with a pack of like-minded, like experienced individuals, and it's a really good time. And it might be a weird mix of vehicles, which is extra cool. Yeah,
because like the last run earlier today, we managed to. It was interesting because we were with like a group of, you know, it was a mix of like very fast cars, and we were absolutely the slowest cars. It was the Cayman GT4, the C63 AMG. The
DB7.
No, it was
Vantage S.
VA Vantage S, and E39 540 touring with a manual 6-speed, and those were absolutely faster cars. But like, hey, they were like, hey, we're gonna go a little bit more chill mode, and so because it's just late in the day, or you know, end of the weekend, and so we got to hang out with them today and get to, you know, be part of that party, which was fun. And so yeah, you make a lot of good inroads with people and friends, and go to dinner and have drinks, and do recommend. I think there's an almost 0% possibility that this will be our last rally. And there was, and again, just to touch real quick on the choose your own adventure section, there was because there was a lot of rain on the rally, not as much as we were driving, but just in between drive times, like overnight rain and stuff. So the roads were wet, and there was a dirt section. How did we do on that dirt section?
Wonderfully. Well, we did the best out of all the cars that showed up.
We did, because we were genuinely the only people to attempt it, because we're driving a Group A rally homologation sensation. Yeah. Which again, it's not meant. It's a road car. This is not meant for that kind of nonsense. No. We had to try it, and tell me more. Yeah. So the dirt section was actually highly reviewed. With the rain, though, it had become very soupy at best. Quite soupy. And we did pretty good. So the big thing is we got out of eyesight. Like, we lost line of sight to everyone else, so they could have thought we went pretty far. We could have came up with a better story, but we got further away where we could take isolated photos that makes us look like we went deep into the off-road section. We went probably about 400 yards, a few corners, very sweeping corners. We didn't even get into the switchbacks. Yeah, we were just crab walking through like 5-inch divots of mud. It was just. It's all as someone that has some rallycross experience, it's all about tire, really. This car is very sorted. If you do get good tires on it, we could have easily pushed that. If we had like straight up like gravel stage tires. Icy is narrow winter tires, snow tires, but we got up there. But hey, we got back and we got the story to tell about it. Crowd formed at the bottom watching us go, and then watched us back our tracks down, and it was a quite muddy vehicle we ended up with, which is good. Completely muddy. Like I said, we took some good photos. We'll insert them here for viewer enjoyment. I will say too, like, I'm surprised that, at least that I can tell, there were almost no mechanical situations for really any car. Yeah. I mean, there were no breakdowns. I saw no tows due to mechanical issues. No overheats, but the weather was very nice. Yeah, the weather worked in our favor. Yep. The Ferrari GT4 Lusso lost a tire to a pothole. That was it. Like, and that's like really no fault of them. It's just kind of what happens on this stuff, especially if you are driving a GT4 Lusso that has not a lot of sidewall. Sure. On some of these roads, but and hat tip to them, right, for like mobbing a car like that through like pockmarked roads in like rural Central Valley California.
Yeah, no popped hoods, no one like running for tools or sharing tool bags. Everybody,
Yep.
you know, pretty much hung. And like the weather was wet, but the weather was cool, which helps a lot. Like we're in like what 40 to 50 degree weather all the time, so it's like absolutely perfect for car performance. And yeah, it was freaking amazing, man. Like, and it was really cool to see because a lot of, like we talked about, a lot of older cars,
Yep.
they clearly were well sorted before they headed out, so that's cool. Unlike our shakedown of our freshly installed turbo.
Exactly. No,
which did well.
It did do well.
Temp gauge is looking well. We had some concerns about that. Everything, like, unbelievably, knock on, I don't know, Corinthian leather.
It's rich. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's running well.
Yeah, it's
Good
funny.
times.
Like if I had to be if before we set out, if I had to make a gamble on like, hey, will there be some sort of mechanical hiccup or hiccup plus on our adventure here with this car, I would have said yes, there would be. I would have bet the over.
Some kind of fluid leak, some kind of smoke at some point, right? A little burning smell here and there. No weird noises either.
Yeah, nothing.
Shocking.
Yeah, just well, I like your turn. Yeah, shocking is probably the right term.
Shocking noises only.
The shocks were there. We were riding bump stop to bump stop on a lot of it.
Or what's left of the bump stop.
Much to the entertainment to the other people on the rally, because they're just like giggling like, dude, you were like watching this thing pitch from absolutely list from one turn to the next, and
we
just
had
get
passive
after it.
yaw control unlike the later Evos.
Yeah, exactly. Passive yaw out of control.
Yeah, we could tell how hard we were in a corner based on which side mirror was touching the ground.
Yeah, sparking. We had to put like grind plates on them. But yeah, just a really cool. I get it now. Like, I've really got the bug for the next rally. And again, whether we would do it in this, I think, you know, mentally for me, the backup plan was if this was, the Galant was a no-go, by the time the rally would have done the S2000.
Yeah.
Which would have been excellent and very competent for this.
It's almost like phoning it in, though, right?
Exactly.
Being like a
not nearly the same amount of like soul, right? We wouldn't have been the Galant Boys.
No, the S2000 Boys.
S2K all day? No, it wouldn't have worked. It would have been far less, I don't know. I feel like we would have had to have been like more buttoned up and more like we're not, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But I think, I don't know. I think it would have been really kind of probably just as fun. You know, more fun in some ways.
Yeah.
We can push it a little bit.
I think it was fun because we stuck out a bit, like the characteristics of the car, you know, I think, all-wheel drive, being of this vintage, being a weird car. I think that was kind of a special part of it, special part of the feeling. I think if next year, I kind of want to come back with my own car because I think that would be fun too, something equally cool. Get
in on the radio game and just be doing a radio radio thing.
Yeah, I think to get this thing where it'd be totally super enjoyable, suspension is all you really need to do, my friend. I don't see a pump and dump in the power department being necessary.
Right.
I think the tires did more than their
I'm super impressed. Like I've never owned. Correct. Yeah, keeping us straight. But like I've never owned a set of Veredicine tires, and I heard good things. I mean, they're do they want to sponsor? I know we were
First
talking about
sponsorship.
Nexons. Maybe we're going to get Nexon to sponsor the podcast, but I do think, I'm quite impressed with how well they performed in the dry, in the wet, and all the things.
I think
really a good match.
You come back with fresh suspension. I think this thing starts to be very competitive in the twisty, tight parts. This will never be a high-speed sweeper, but even I'm thinking good shocks, good sway bars and end links. This thing can, like, as someone that's tuned one of these in the past, it's going to totally make it way more competitive. I mean, it was fun to wallow, but at times, I'm not going to lie, I had a few fucker moments when we kind
white
of
knuckliness. We're like, okay, a little hot, and
a little sketch,
we're
but
grinding. Keep them on, and we'll be okay. But like,
that's what's cool is like this car is that sort of like it's very reliable. Chassis is good dynamics.
The chassis.
Yes.
But like I don't know, I'm torn because
don't leave it like it is.
I couldn't leave it like it is. But like I'm partially inclined to be like, okay, it needs like stock fresh stock struts and just like, bushings and things like that.
And links,
because it's like there are so few of these that are completely stock.
Right.
And yes, it would not truly take away from the spirit of the car or anything like that by doing.
Yeah,
like,
a slight lowering spring with a stockish shock would be fantastic. I think you'll find yourself happy.
I don't know. I'm torn.
I don't think you'll tear up. I don't think you'll tear up when you go around a corner and it doesn't feel like the whole car is gonna just kind of walk.
Right. I know. But it's on principle though. I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know. So then, what would you, if you were gonna do your own car, would you look for something specifically for this? Would you work with what you got and fix up one of the beaters on the homestead and try and bring one out here?
As someone that has a fleet of 10 cars, I can probably find something to dabble with.
You might be able to.
But I think people don't need to find a specific, if you are thinking about doing one of these for the first time, you don't need to go shopping for your rally car. It's kind of fun if you're in the position to do so though. But whatever you're driving is probably going to be just cool to take, as is. Obviously
you have to have that sense of occasion.
Well, sure.
Right?
Make sure you're caught up on your maintenance. Make sure, obviously the no-brainer stuff, tires, any leaks that you haven't addressed. Anything's going to get worse when you drive your car like at a speed faster than normal. You're going to put a lot of mileage on.
Correct.
I think total we're going to be close to 1,000 at the end of the day.
Yeah. By the time we get back home and everyone gets tucked in bed, it'll be nearly 1,000.
2 episodes we talked about, prepping for a road trip. I think that's a good primer to start there. Go over some of those fundamentals and make sure you're checking those boxes. You also don't want to be the person that soaks a road in oil or coolant and causes something bad to happen.
Yeah,
be that person.
Yeah, you don't want to. But etiquette is king.
Yeah,
and part of that is like not turning your car into a paperweight.
Yeah, and being dangerous to other people.
Babysit you. Yeah.
Right, like if everybody has to brake for an unforeseen circumstance, like an animal on the road or a washed out section, you want to make sure your brakes aren't going to be the ones that fail.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And it's I don't know, it's interesting. So would you do ZR1?
Oh, in my personal fleet?
Yeah. What are you gonna drag out of the barn,
I'm a
my
fan.
friend?
I like slower car fast. I like to emphasize handling over speed. The ZR1 would be a pretty amazing car. I kind of want to do neon ACR. I think that's kind of the sneaky peek. And also to have much faster cars look back and see a neon in the rear view.
Yeah.
Psychological.
And guess what? Like I just said, that USA was underrepresented, so you could buck the trend, my friend.
There we go. Yeah.
USA. Yeah, just go.
I love it.
What would you do? What would you do to the neon? Would you just
suspension, full suspension, maybe an intake and exhaust, add a little more personality, but that's a good performer out of the box. The sway bars,
75 shot of NOS.
Of course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell anyone that. But its sway bars are good out of the factory. Just really firm suspension, good 200 tread wear tires, and that thing can get pretty gnarly quick.
Yeah. You could do that. I think that would be super fun. It would be right. Like I feel like we've set a bar. Like we can't just show up at like the Galant. We're the Galant Boys, and we can show up outside of a Galant, but like it's got to be like, oh, they brought that instead of a Galant, and I mean that in a good way, like with a weird, obscure, not typical rally beast.
Truth. Yeah, but it's really like show up what you want. It is always more fun, if you have something a little older, a little more vintage, but hey, bring what you got, right?
That's right. And also with what we brought is we did bring a community chest, a 30 pack of High Life for the after dark sections of the rally, which is people hanging out in the parking lot. And sharing, breaking bread and sharing beverages with one another, and but I feel like we have to go weirder next time too. Do we go hams? A 30 pack of Rainier? Like should we go? Something Yingling?
Or we tried Yingling's delicious. America's oldest brewery.
It is true story.
So I think it'd be kind of fun to base your alcohol choice on the vehicle you bring, so you can have some kind of guilt by association. I think that'd be kind of fun.
So with this, because the Plymouth Sapporo was a Japanese product, we probably should have brought like Kansas Sapporo.
Yeah, Japanese heritage, sure.
What would the neon be? What's the most Dodge neonist?
I think it's just like Bush or something. Like
the Milwaukee's Beast.
Oh, Milwaukee's Beast would be good.
Show up with old Milwaukee like NA and just like give people hell of NA beers.
I think a lot of neon drivers back in the day drink Natty Light. I think that'd be applicable.
Oh yeah. Have you ever had the Keystone? Just a regular Keystone, so not the ice, and not the Keystone Light, but the regular Keystone. It's like the mountain, like the red Mountain Dew cans.
It's pretty good. It's
hard to find. I can't remember the last time I've seen it. It's a rarity.
Yeah, we could Bevmo that for sure. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe
that's where I got it from. Yeah.
Yeah, but some juice. So I don't know. It was a very good time and got to meet some incredibly good people. And I'm curious to the listening folks out there who have done these sort of things, like what their impressions of like their times were, right? Like, because I feel like, you know, this is us on our first rally, this one particular rally from our perspective, right? Like everyone has a different perspective on these things, and how good of a time they did or did not do. Like if you broke your car, you probably had not a good time. We did not break our car miraculously, and so we had a hell of a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really just intriguing. Like I will be drifting off to sleep, thinking about like the next rally and what I would or wouldn't do different.
Sure.
And where I might be, and hoping who I would see again on the rally, and what other new people with new different cars like I would want to see on something like this.
Yeah, some things you might not think about if it's going to be your first time is be aware that you're probably going to catch some rock chips, maybe some scratches here and there, maybe definitely some tire wear more than your usual tire wear.
Mm-hmm.
So expect that kind of stuff. Also factor in fuel costs. Your vehicle's probably going to consume more fuel than it normally would. We should have kept. I absolutely wish we would have tracked our MPGs.
I know we geared ourselves up to do it.
Because it'd be so cool to see. I wanted to do like, you know, you get your usual like city highway and then rally fuel economy, and it'd be cool comparing. I think that'd be neat to do between different drivers and vehicles to see, you know, maybe it isn't the performance of the car. Certain cars just consume differently, or you can tell who was giving it the more beans. Based on their fuel economy or lack thereof.
We did also, on that note, we did eat an enormous amount of delicious Mexican food on this trip.
Oh, it was delicious. Yeah.
I have been introduced to the loaded quesadilla.
Yeah.
And there's no coming back.
You're a truther for loaded quesadilla.
Exactly the LQ.
Yeah, we
QAnon loaded quesadilla.
We gave
anonymous.
it the beans and we received the beans, so it's
exactly
a good trade-off.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting like meat sweat evening for me this evening.
Digestive fuel costs.
Exactly. Yeah, burning it at both ends.
But no, it's pretty. But factor that stuff in though. If you are, crunching the budget to do one of these, fuel is going to be something that you have to keep supplying. And I'm a big advocate. So these different legs go through some very scenic areas. So plan for filling up when you can. Don't fill up at the last minute. There's no sense in budgeting, your last quarter tank of gas in a strong section and having to back off because of that when you could be enjoying yourself because you filled up like a good prepared human being.
Stay topped off, my friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stay frosty.
Exactly. Stay frosty. Sneaky beaky.
But yeah, that's a good tip, right? Like grab fuel when you can because you never know. We were out for like multiple stints away from a gas station, like 100 plus miles. So it's like just have it there, and that's one less thing to worry about. Throttle down and have fun.
It's funny. It's like I think about like on paper, I'm like, oh, this was like not that adventurous of a car to bring, right? Like it's fairly modern. It's like it's comfortable. Like it's all stock, whatever. But then like at the same time, I'm like, I mentally like go across the field of other cars and like almost all of them were set up better, like from like a suspension and modification standpoint. And many we're probably in the older half of the cars there.
Sure, yeah.
Because there were a lot of modern Porsche stuff and things like that.
And the vintage stuff was sorted and modified.
You could tell.
It didn't lose its allure though. It's like
because it was done right.
Yeah, and they handled like you could tell like just like on track, like brakes and suspension are everything. Brakes, suspension, tires, trump power any day. And you can tell, like, when these vintage cars were like, oh, we're all just cruising out of the parking lot. Okay, this is probably going to be close to our speed. And you see them take a few corners. You're like, nope. What's your suspension?
Yeah. Especially on the downhill stuff. Where it was just like all the lightweight setup, older stuff that had, potentially half the power that this thing has. And it just, they would just leave us behind because we were just shaking in our boots in every corner. And
shaking under bump stops.
We're definitely bumping it. And so... yeah, it was good. It's really interesting to just kind of think out and play out, like, on the next one. Especially, other things to consider, if the next one is a Sierra rally, and it's at altitude, would we have the turbocharged advantage?
Kind of feel like you want to bring a turbo to that one.
That could be good. Yeah, that could be good. I don't know. See, and this is my problem, because I'm an idiot. And so half of me was like, well, I have to bring a new car to not even a new car, but a different car to the next rally. But we're the Galant Boys. I'm very conflicted on this.
And there's personality, like to see the same car showing up. I think that's kind of cool. You're like, oh yeah, and you can put the sticker on it. And You know,
exactly. It's
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it looks like it's earned the sticker. It should get the sticker. But yeah, I don't know. So it's just like, would I take if I still have the 924 turbo, would I throw caution to the wind and take that, or would I go, you know, maybe pick something up new?
I'm not sure your 924 turbo is going to be as fast as this car is overall.
No, it would be way. The suspension it'd be way flatter.
Way flatter.
It's got 50 fewer horses.
Think it's as reliable when pushed though?
No.
Yeah, no.
But it's only like 2,400 pounds. I don't know. The tires they're decent. They're like good all-season performance tires.
Yeah.
So they're, I don't know. Who knows? But again, for me, it's like it's more about showing up with something that's like eclectic and fun to drive, more so than like, is it faster or slower than anything else? Like I'm not in it for the speed or for the hustle. I'm in it for just having fun and hanging out with people and talking cars and being the village idiot.
Yeah. But that being said, you don't want to show up to a rally in a car that's zero fun to drive.
We're not gonna show up in a Pontiac Aztec, an Isuzu Axiom. Although we should though. Should we? Can you like get performance suspension components for an Isuzu Axiom?
You could slam an Axiom, put some like I have no idea.
It's probably a parts bin special. I bet you would like it's I don't know.
Some Honda stuff.
Yeah, right. It's just like rodeo suspension.
Yeah.
Rodeo drive.
You church that up, son.
I know.
It's dirt.
Dirt.
Not dirty.
Joe Dirte.
Just took a Joe. Don't forget to
watch
your
dirt. I don't have this one. But yeah, no, it's the mind wanders, and then it's like also the next one is like what other cars will be there, right? Like
Then if it's a summer rally, how good is your AC? How good is your cooling
That's very
system?
true. The 924 does not have AC. The AC works on this.
Which is a factor when it's 100 degrees. Also, stress testing your cooling system is probably a huge factor in the summer versus 40 to 50 degree
and that
cool
thing
weather.
is like a non-intercooled Bosch CIS turbocharged car. Yeah.
Not a summer rally car.
No. But then I also don't want to just show up in the S2000. It's like, it's a cool story and all, but like, I don't know.
Top up, not as fun.
Same with the
Miata.
Money, anything.
Miata roof on, not as fun.
Right.
Topless parties are the best.
Just make sure you just like aggressively and liberally apply like copious amounts of like zinc oxide sunscreen.
Yeah.
So you look like some weird like weekend at Bernie's.
I like it.
Driving the car.
Better than getting scorched alive though.
Much better. Much better. And so, I don't know. Highly satisfied. Do recommend.
Super fun.
Do recommend. And so, like, I don't know what we would have. Would you have done anything differently? At least as far as what we've done so far, like today, and on this trip. Like, is there anything like, oh boy, other than like tracking fuel economy?
That would have been cool to know. Yeah.
But like, is there anything like, oh boy, I wish we did this, or I wish we took this instead, or I wish, whatever.
I think suspension will make it a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But like, not that it wasn't enjoyable, it was super enjoyable, but it's gonna add that. It's not gonna take anything away. It's gonna make it. It's gonna make it cool because we'll be able to push a little more, which is fun, right?
Yes.
Like comfortably push is what I'm referring to. Not push as in what we did because of our bad suspension.
Correct. Or push as in salt and pepper.
I feel like we tacoed some of our tires.
Push it real good.
Corners.
Yeah, no, we definitely.
I can feel it folding on itself.
I think there's no more scripting on the sidewalls.
No,
on the front.
Those little paint spots are gone. We left them somewhere back there.
And it's funny because again, going back to just some perspective, and we had mentioned this briefly, not on here, but just off the air, as they say. We pride ourselves in our knowledge in the world of like automotive minutia. But the number of car people that they like kind of sort of know what a Galant VR-4 is, but don't really know what a Galant VR-4 is. They're like, oh, is that just like, they know that like it was a limited Galant, but that's about it, right?
Sure.
And which, I mean, stands to reason you don't see these cars, and unless you're deep into the woods on like either homologation stuff or just 90s off-the-wall Japanese stuff, you're kind of not going to know. So I got a kick out of that, of just like, explaining what this car is.
Right.
And it's fun to do that when it is in stock guise, and you can like point out to like, yep, those are the original wheels, and yes, they are all colored coded to match the paint. Four-wheel steering, that is a thing, and yes, it's kind of problematic.
Right.
So yeah, it's interesting just to be like amongst car people and then be the one to like bring the new thing that people haven't seen in a sea of interesting, unique things. It's fun. It's fun. I'm into it.
Very fun. Fun all around.
Well, check this out. Normally, this would be right about the time where we would be doing some PCP and doing our project car progress. Although all of my progress that I was doing was simply to get this car here this weekend. So I don't really have project car progress, and we don't have a quiz to quiz one another because we are not, well, I'm driving and we're nowhere near computers to be able to do this. Should we try and like, we don't have the 8-ball with us either.
Well, your PCP's good. You should cover like some of the stuff you did to shake the car down, some of the things you had to go through. You had like a wheel stud. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, and so I know a lot of it. I think I covered last episodes getting rid of it.
Did you? You got the wheel. You had the tires on.
That was one thing I didn't. So I did the tires when we were doing the tires. The tire shop called me and they're like, hey, long story short is a wheel stud broke.
Surprise.
On the driver's front when we were getting the old wheel off. So you're going to be running on 3 lugs. And, you know, doing a rally like this, doing a lot of hard driving where there's pockmarked wheat roads and stuff like that. If it was a 5-lug car and I was down a lug, yes, I would be like, that sucks, but like, I'll just check the lugs as we go and we'll be okay. On a 4-lug car, that like, it would have been, you can't just get a lug for this. Apparently you got to buy the whole freaking hub and press it into the knuckle. And this was with, you know, less than a week before the rally. So the good news is, I guess like they called me back after an hour or so, the tire shop, and they're like, hey, good news, it actually only broke off the last like 1/4 inch of the stud. And so we have another lug that's like actually threads a little deeper. It's got like a deeper shank, I guess, for lack of a better term. And so, because the shoulder is up a little higher, so they were able to thread it on without issue. But that was kind of touch and go for a moment. And then I was just able to, you know, get the car back together. I was only able to put on before the drive down, like I think it was like 88 miles or something like that. I drove to San Rafael and back. I took the kid with me, and we took like a run down my local high speed, or not high speed, but my local twisty road that I like to run down quicker than I should. And it performed well. It didn't use any fluids, so I said, okay, like we're just gonna do this. And the good news was it seemingly paid off.
Clearly.
Because yeah, here we are. Everything worked out great. And against, really honestly against all odds. Because the car had seen no miles in over a calendar year.
Yeah.
And before that it saw little miles, and yes, you did a lot of work on the car. But you know, it's again attrition, right? Like going from sitting for a year to getting pushed hard for 800 plus miles,
right?
Is not ideal. And this is a car that's not known for like world-beating reliability. And so, yeah, the fact that we've come out on top is a I don't want to say miraculous, but it was, you know, we put in a prep and it paid off.
Yeah, that was a good little hit of PCP, man.
I know. You know what? I'm actually...
You drew it out?
I don't know if I'm surprised, but I didn't see, and I don't think anyone was doing any truly hardcore drugs on the rally.
I wouldn't say anything on here anyway.
Nobody actually doing PCP. No
narking in this.
I saw no rock cocaine being smoked.
Truth.
So, you know, maybe we'll change that next time. Maybe we can get really into just smoking opium.
Yes.
Mid-rally.
We're almost at run length here. I'll do a quicker PCP for you guys.
Yeah.
Just wrapping up the Forester XT project I've been working on, and you know, the original plan for that was going to be an adventure vehicle, so you know, I don't leave anything off the table. So it's been small stuff. I just figured, obviously time belt, not small stuff, but it's been cabin filter stuff. It's been, you know, following up and making sure all the lights are replaced. It has a million different bulbs for all the side marker lights. Yep. All that good stuff. Did a slave cylinder to help with a sticking clutch pedal. And the vehicle's well sorted. Like, I've been driving it and putting mileage on it. I'm absolutely loving it. But I did come into a S10 Blazer, 5-speed manual 2-door that I'm going to kind of build up and make a nice little cruise around. So like it's
maybe
kind
a
of
Z3?
yeah, but it's kind of dual purpose. So I'm going to put the funds I get from the Forester back into the S10 Blazer, which is going to be a super fun project.
Sweet.
Small world story involved, and I'll keep it short. Is the potential purchaser of the Forester, and I've gotten a lot of interest once I listed that thing. There is a cult following, basically. He was a good friends with the guy that brought a Caterham to the rally we just got done.
Eric,
so,
if you're out there, big shout out.
Shout out to that. So
yeah, he won the People's Choice Award, so to speak, and I think he deserved it.
Yeah.
There was rain and treachery, and he navigated it.
Yes, so very cool car, but he's like buddies with the guy that's going to potentially be buying the Forester XD. So I love that small world interconnectedness that we live in. But yeah, I'm super happy if it goes to him. Dude's like super cool, but yeah, it always makes me a little sad when I put so much work into a car and then I sail it down there. But it's just keeping these things on the road. That's why I do it. So that's my PCP for the week, and we might as well wrap this bad boy up. I think we're challenging the battery a little bit on this GoPro.
Would you say we're out of time? So yeah, it's thanks for putting up with us in perpetuity, and thanks for maybe watching us if you're having to catch us on the tubes. Where can you be found on the tubes and on the things there, Chadwick?
Yeah, guys, Auto Obsessive Garage. I rescue turd boxes, bring them back to life.
Yep.
Do reviews from time to time, and same with Instagram. Check my stuff out. It's
That's right.
It's okay. And Frank, where can we follow you?
Oh boy, I am at the Photographer's Garage, mostly on Instagram, a little bit on the tubes as well. We are another pointless automotive podcast, he tried to say. Sorry, I'm driving, okay? There's a Prius in front of me. It's concerning.
Yeah, APA podcast, another pointless automotive podcast. You guys should definitely follow us on your favorite podcast listening mediums.
Yes.
Feel free to rate the podcast.
Is that a thing? Do people do that?
Yeah, dude. Well, not many people
look how
do
professional
it. You
we are
can
at
do
this.
it. Rate it,
put your back
review
into
it.
it.
Tell your friends if they're car enthusiasts or if they don't like cars and they want to hear people talk about stupid things. We do that a lot.
We do that a lot.
Check us out on YouTube. We're trying to improve the YouTube presence. We might start putting stuff that's not just podcast related on there. So make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to cover the GoPro.
Just bash your genitals onto your keyboard
YouTube
until it smashes all the notification bells and things.
Poorly executed Instagram, but we're getting there. Thanks from us to you guys, the DWA Rally team, and everybody else.
To you.
Take care as always, guys.